what happens in the skiff can be monitored to a certain degree, but it is a secure facility, and there are a lot of people who take their time and energy to make sure that those those facilities are secure. And by the way, you talk to anybody who's ever had access, a security clearance, had access to this information, they'll tell you that you get read the Riot Act about documents, and you know exactly that what you find in there, you leave in there. So it just shows you the level of, again, arrogance that it takes for someone to believe that they can just, up and walk with documents.
Wow. I've got a bit of a man cave in our house, Lonnie. I'm going to start referring to it as the skiff. Yeah, there you go. I know my brother with security clearances will find that absolutely hilarious.
And everything in there ought to be a secret.
So many things to talk about. Jack, what do you want to jump onto next?
Well, Kevin McCarthy just said, we won't touch Medicare or Social Security. President Biden having just said, the Republicans want to take your Medicare and Social Security. We all know that we have to touch Medicare and Social Security if we want to actually write the The question is, do we have a situation, having watched the whole voting thing happen to get McCarthy even voted in to be the speaker, do we have a situation where there are enough people willing to take us over the cliff that we're actually going to go over the cliff this time on the debt ceiling?
Let me say exactly what's going to happen, because we've seen this movie before. We are going to have this conversation, will we or won't we go over the cliff for the next 5 months? As the U.S. Treasury Department,
where do I sign up?
But it's true, right? There's going to be a lot of talk, and none of this is really going to come to a head until we get to May. All right, that's when the U.S. Treasury is going to run out of what they call extraordinary measures, essentially accounting and other things that they can do to stave off default on the debt. And when we get closer, people are going to start to get nervous, and then they're going to sit down, and we're going to have intense negotiations. And if I had to guess on the outcome, we're going to raise the debt limit, but it's going to be tied to some kind of a process to address spending. It sounds unsatisfying. It is, because, again, we're in a mode now. My bigger view of this is that we're in a mode now where Washington is not going to get anything done, right? They're not going to get anything of substance done. And so what they're going to do is they're going to put in place some kind of process to set up a commission or a board that's going to go off and study spending and come back and tell us what every other commission and board has told us, which is that, Medicare and Social Security have to be people aren't going to get what they've been promised. And it's the dumbest thing that we have this conversation over and over and fight about who's going to cut Medicare, who's not. You know what? Everybody needs to get in the boat together. This is not going to happen now.
Or there will have to be trillions of dollars in tax increases. Trillions and trillions of dollars. Everybody knows it.
Well, so the question I have, though, you say it'll get settled. There are a couple of different ways it gets settled. Enough Republicans vote for it, and then they're going to get hammered by some of their constituents. Or McCarthy goes ahead and cobbles together Democrats with a handful of Republicans, in which case somebody calls for his ouster, and he probably doesn't get to be speaker anymore. So which one of those scenarios is likely to happen?
That I have less of a gut on. I mean, I think either scenario is possible.
Yeah, wow.
Because the reality.
Do you think McCarthy would give up his ship to make sure we don't go over the debt cliff?
I think at core, everyone understands. Okay,
I hope.
And we're not going to go over. I just don't circumstance where we would actually go over the cliff. I think enough concessions get made. Is it going to be painful? That's my whole point. This is going to be really painful. All right, we're going to have this conversation. There's going to be 24/7 breaking news coverage. We saw this person leave this office. What does it mean? That's going to be the kind of posture we're in between now and June. And if I had to guess, I would guess this does get settled. How it gets settled, the mechanics of who votes for it, what the political consequences are, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about that. I just don't know how it's going to work, but there's a lot of different ways to get to the deal here, I think.
What do you think Kevin McCarthy's IQ is? Never mind. I retract the question. Question. It's very high. He's a smart man. So,
3 digits?
Speaking of Speaking of intelligence, and we have barely 2 minutes, Lonnie, and we ought to have a long conversation. We have friends who work in professional capacities. They make a fair amount of money with computers and paper, that sort of profession, who have told us artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT, for instance, is going to put the masses out of work in their industries. Massive, sudden employment dislocation. Any thoughts?
My only amendment to that is I don't think it's sudden. I think it could be massive, but I think it's going to be gradual. In the sense that the machine learning technology that's available is truly amazing. If you look at the ability of this technology to mimic human activity across a broad range of different areas, I've seen some demos that would blow your mind. Now, ChatGPT, I actually had to use it till yesterday. It's pretty impressive. But what I do say is that this technology is evolving so quickly. Humans can't even keep up with the notion of where this is going, in my view. So, yeah, I mean, listen, will it cause economic disruption? I don't think there's any doubt it'll cause disruption. The issue is going to be, can we kind of change and evolve our economy to make sure that we still have opportunities for people who get displaced by it? I think that's a big question.
No, we cannot. Starving millions rioting in the streets by next March. Mark my words. Lan Hee Chen of the Hoover Institution, Stanford University. We need to chat about this at length, Lan Hee, because we'd love to hear your opinion at some point. So maybe next week if we can get together.
He got the most votes of any Republican in the entire country in the last
election.
Give it up,
everybody. Come on. Lan Hee Chen. Thanks so much, Lan Hee.
Thanks, guys.
Terrific stuff.
I want to talk more about ChatGPT with some new stuff I learned yesterday, coming up with on the whole debt ceiling thing. I heard one of my favorite pundits saying, and I thought, wow, this you might be right about this. His concern is that everybody is saying this time around, well, we all know when it comes down to crunch time, this will get done. The fact that everybody is just assuming that when it comes down to it, of course we'll come to an agreement, might mean it's more likely than it's ever been that it doesn't happen because everybody's assuming it will. So, yeah, well, it's going to be fun, but again, not for months to come. ChatGPT is going to ruin everything from your love life to your job.
Starving millions rioting in the streets. Mark my words.
Who don't need mates. Right. All on the way. Stay with us.
Armstrong and Getty.
Attention, if you owe money to the IRS, this is an important announcement. The IRS for collection actions like never before, reinstating their forced compliance policies, accounts, garnishing wages, and seizing property. Penalties and interest compound daily, making it seem impossible to get out of tax debt. Don't let the IRS destroy your life. Call Tax Network USA, one of the nation's leading tax relief firms. Their attorneys and licensed professionals have proven strategies to swiftly settle your tax matter for good. Tax Network USA, an A-plus rated firm, has saved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. And with their client satisfaction guarantee, they fight for you to get the best deal possible with the IRS. Call Tax Network USA now. 1-800-245-6000. That's 1-800-245-6000. 1-800-245-6000.
Don't wait your right. We'll fight for you. Saving money on your taxes, that's all we do.
Democrats say that high inflation would go away after the Fed's rate hikes, but month after month the numbers prove nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing prices are still going higher. Meanwhile, Biden is still finding ways to print more dollars. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to take action to protect your savings from inflation. How? By diversifying your current retirement funds into a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, simply text the word HEDGE to 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. This 20-page guide will answer all your questions about using gold in your retirement account. This is the best way to stop your purchasing power from being stolen by Democrats like Joe Biden. So text HEDGE to the number 989898. That's HEDGE to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation or purchase required.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, Drop into video only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hi, Doug Andrew here. 4 questions. Did you or someone you know lose money in the market in 2008? Do you think a crash like that will happen again? Do you want to have what happened to your money last time happen again? What are you doing differently to prevent that? If your retirement savings are invested in the market, reposition that money and protect it from losses sooner than later. Learn how to make money safely with little to no downside risk. Join us for one of 5 Retire by Design workshops. We're coming to teach free workshops in San Mateo, Mountain View, Livermore, Alamo, and Granite Bay, Wednesday through Friday, March 15th through the 17th. Call now to register and get details. 1-888-73-RADIO. That's 1-888-73-RADIO, which is 1-888-737-2346. That's 1-888-737-2346.
We all want to eat healthy, but have you ever read the ingredients list off of your favorite snack? Between the hard-to-pronounce ingredients and man-made additives, it's difficult to find anything made from natural ingredients. Even some of my favorite organic snacks have ingredients I haven't heard of. At Balance of Nature, we know the value of real nutrition that can only be found in real food. That's why the only things you'll find on our ingredients list are real whole fruits and vegetables. No additives, fillers, or artificial ingredients of any kind. Balance of Nature is the best whole fruit and vegetable product on the market, delivering your body everything it needs to function at its very best. Eat better and feel better. Start your journey to better health. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to nature.com to get free shipping. And don't forget to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code KSFO. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Molly Stone's Markets is offering fresh, local Dungeness crab for just $6.99 a pound. Don't miss this extra special local treat while supplies last. Find a Molly Stone's location near you at mollystones.com.
Talk Radio 560 KSFO. Like us on Facebook at 560 KSFO and stay up to date on the latest events. Talk Radio 560 KSFO.
The Armstrong and Getty Show.
A woman in Brazil recently gave birth to a 16-pound baby. And the baby came out like, "What's for lunch?" When the doctor spanked the baby knocked the doctor out. The doctor was like, "Congratulations, it's a man."
That's a grown man.
Wow, that's a big baby.
That reminds me, I wore my son's shoes to work yesterday. They're a little big for me. Man. I know a lot about ChatGPT, which I'd only been hearing about up until this week. I now understand better. It came out in November. We'd been having listeners use it in a variety of ways. I just found out that an academic I know said, "Oh yeah, we're all using that every single day. All of us, we love it. It's come on fast and strong." And Joe was just talking about how it's an AI system, has access to all the written knowledge in the world for now, and it's going to grow into more and more stuff over time. It's got a lot of people out of work with some obvious stuff like the ability to write computer code or solve problems or, figure out insurance rates or just all kinds of stuff that humans did in the past.
You won't spit out legal precedents.
Right.
For instance.
So that's going to be a huge thing. But also we used the example the other day of Jordan Peterson in his book, and he gave the ChatGPT the task of writing another chapter for his book in the style of the book, and he said he couldn't distinguish it really from the way he would have written it. So if that's possible, this is from a podcast I was listening to yesterday with a professor type wondering about some of the consequences. He was saying he doesn't think society is ready for this. He wishes we could put the brakes on it somehow, but there's not any way to do that. How about its ability to figure out the psychology of populism, for instance? There's no doubt that leaders who have, Trump, I mean, who do you want to use as a good example? Who's figured out the moment and what you can say to people to really get them to move a certain direction? Fabulous leaders throughout time. Chat GPT, figure that out? Why not? Why wouldn't it be able to figure that out?
Sure. You know what I find myself wanting to do is give it the following prompt. Design a populist campaign or set of slogans to convince people that reforming Social Security is a good idea.
Well, there's a positive thing that could happen.
That's because I'm Mr. Positive.
But if somebody programs it, to come up with a, campaign and slogan that is going to get the most people to vote for me, I don't care why. And this professor was not talking about, we keep picturing computers walking the streets, taking over the world, drinking our blood or whatever it is. No, it's a human being who's using Chat GPT to write the speeches and coming up with the ideas. He said experts are going to use this, and they aren't actually experts anymore. They're just using the Chat GPT for their expertise. And that is going to be a whole new world in all kinds of different endeavors. Your boss is going to use Chat GPT to come up with the latest sales plan or whatever and claim it for his own, and the politics of it are just, or figuring out the psychology of what makes us all fall in love or whatever and manipulate us that way.
Wow. Well, and your boss with his sales plan, any half-bright human being with fingers to type, or soon Elon Musk will put a chip in their brain, you won't even need your fingers, they can do that. So
Sure.
What's the point in paying your boss what they make?
Right, and then there's having the brilliance that the computer came up with in the hands of either somebody who's unethical or not that smart at implementing it or whatever.
Right, yeah. Unspeakably powerful tools in the hands of the evil, to briefly summarize.
Or unwise, at least.
All right, yeah. And theoretically, the incredibly powerful antidotes to that evil in the hands of those of us who would tend in that direction.
And this is barely theoretical. That's the point. This is not like fanciful could happen in the future when spaceships are... No, this is like going to happen 6 months from now.
Millions and millions of people, billions perhaps, are going to be unemployed in the next 5 years because of this. Billions. I am not kidding.
Woof. If you miss an hour of this show, we do 4 every day. Grab the podcast, Armstrong and Getty on demand.
Armstrong and Getty.
Talk Radio 560 KSFO San Francisco, KSAN HD2 San Mateo, a Cumulus media station.
Iranian plots to kill a U.S. citizen. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the target is an Iranian-American author and activist, and the plot was directed from Iran.
The government, Iran, has previously targeted dissidents around the world, including the victim, who opposed the regime's violations of human rights.
The Justice Department charging 3 men in the suspected plot, including one from New York, where they're facing counts of money laundering and murder for hire. FBI Director Christopher Wray says it's the latest attempted threat showing Iran's increasing engagement abroad, including in the U.S. The FBI chief also adding his condemnation to what happened in Memphis, where Tyree Nichols died 3 days after a traffic stop beating that has 5 fired officers charged with murder.
I've seen the video myself, and I will tell you, I was appalled. I'm struggling to find a stronger word, but I will just tell you I was appalled.
The Nichols family calling for peaceful protest with that video set to be made public tonight. The U.S. says there's an urgent need for all parties to escalate after deadly Israeli raids targeting Palestinian militants in the West Bank, prompting rocket attacks from Gaza, which were followed by Israeli airstrikes.
We're certainly deeply concerned by this escalating cycle of violence in the West Bank, as well as by the rockets that have been apparently launched from Gaza.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the U.S. condemns all actions that further escalate tensions. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has a previously scheduled trip to Israel, the West Bank, and Egypt this weekend. North Korea is condemning the decision by the U.S. and others to send tanks to Ukraine to help fight off Russia's invasion. The U.S. has accused North Korea of sending large supplies of artillery shells and other ammunition to Russia. America is listening to Fox News.
Greetings, Sebastian Gorka here. For years I've mentioned how much Relief Factor has helped the pain in my lower back. Gary from Ohio shared his experience too. He writes, I tried Relief Factor due to its botanical ingredients to reduce pain in my shoulder, knee, and lower back. After just a few weeks,